All right. So I have braced most of the spots that I could see where water was collecting. Like here, I'm going to need more because water is collecting there. So trying to catch where all the water is collecting and putting little pieces of stick there, fronds, to angle it so that the water will kind of run off. That's what the plan is. Although there's some areas where it's collecting. So we're going to have leaks in certain spots that might be really hard to fix. But for the most part, I don't think there's any major areas where it's catching water anymore. I caught the big ones. But you can see there's still some little areas here where it's collecting water. So it was kind of important to be out here in the rain, which is why I came out here anyways, to when I saw that it was going to rain. So I couldn't really paint Little Blue 2, but decided to continue out here because I wanted to watch how the yurt was behaving in the rain. And I was able to spot the areas where water was collecting that might cause a cave-in. Like, see how water's collecting here because of this piece being so high. So I got to try to pull everything tight and get it so it can run down. Because there's pieces that jut out that's making water stay, and it might cause the little bubble of water to form, the pool, and that's what's causing the weight to sit on the yurt roof, causing it to collapse. So at this point, I think I got most of it. It's the first time I've actually been out here in a real rainstorm. It's not like pouring rain, but it is. You can hear the rain here. It is really raining, but not pouring. More like a drizzle, a sprinkle. But most of the roof has been patched as far as you know, where it's collecting. You see here when I move it, water runs down faster, which means there's still pools of water being collected. And that's always going to happen because we got these little pockets here. The roof isn't super taut. Right here is a problematic area where it joined here, so I may need to somehow put another piece from the top that covers down past this area. We might lose a skylight here to fix this, unless I run another piece of skylight over that. And here is another area that still has get all this water that is collecting here. So I definitely need to fix these areas here where it is still leaking. Just hope that what I've been able to do is going to be enough to hold the water out. Now, if a really strong windstorm like a hurricane were to hit, I don't think this yurt will survive. People that are telling me to tear everything down and rebuild it, I don't think they've been watching and seeing where I actually am at. There's no resources here. What we have are fronds, and that means the whole structure has to be built mostly from fronds, and they're really brittle and really not that strong. I think what was giving it strength is the fact that they're arranged in triangular format. Hatching, you know, cross-hatching them is giving them a little bit more strength, but you can see some have broken when the roof collapsed. I do need to fix those broken ones just to give it a little bit more structural integrity. If this yurt actually survived a hurricane, I would be surprised. But for the most part, it is staying stable now, even with just 2 beams. I do plan on putting up another 2 more beams here to make it 4 when it dries out and I'm able to find some more fronds that are long enough. Here's what I was talking about, trying to make the fronds stronger. The fronds themselves are pretty weak, but if you put 2 of them together, like, see, this is half of one and half of the other, then you have like a solid piece. Then where they join, where the 2 pieces are joined together, to see this height right here, from the top to the bottom, that's 2 pieces of fronds, not 1, because you're not going to find a frond that's long and straight. I haven't been able to find one that long, so most of them are at the tallest is about like this tall, or maybe a little bit shorter. So typically a pole is made up of at least 6 fronds. So one of these beams here that you see here is about 5 or 6 fronds to get a beam that tall, that straight. Now, if I were going to make this yurt for real using fronds, this is how I would do each beam. I would take 2 fronds and put them flat side to flat side and make a long pole like this, probably about 7 or 8 feet tall. Then do that for every single one of those beams that you see there that ended up being in the crosshatch pattern. That's what I would do if I was building this for real, or if I were redoing it and trying to make it so it's actually stronger. Of course, that means twice as many fronds or more, 2 or 3 times more frond branches that you're going to have to find. And there's plenty of fronds here, but I don't know if there would be enough for that. But that would certainly give you a bit more strength than what we have right now. This is actually pretty strong. It's not as strong as wood, but it's stronger than just one thin little frond, which is really brittle. They dry out and they become very brittle. So they're good for firewood, not really that good for building, but as you can see, in an emergency, if you had to make a shelter and all you had access to were these fronds because you're stuck here in Florida or whatever, I'm going to try to move this here to get it off the ground. But I think there was a leak here. I don't know if it's leaking again or not, but you can see there was some fronds, wet fronds that I picked up from out there to try to brace the roofing here to keep it angled so that water will run off. I think as long as we can keep water running off, the roof will hold unless you get a really strong wind. And if you're having strong winds, we're talking about Florida here, guys. I don't think any tree branches or twigs that I can put together will hold under a hurricane. So, you know, this shelter is what it is. Just a little curiosity spot for those who happen to come out to Camp Freedom 2. I do plan on cleaning it up, straightening it out, and making it somewhat usable. It's not meant as a permanent structure. It is meant as a temporary chill out area where you could come and sit out of the rain like today when it's raining. So if you were out at Camp Freedom 2 or at the Yurt and it's raining, you can actually have a dry area where you can sit and chill. And if you had food and stuff here, you could drink and just relax. There's magazines, place to sit, and just chill out here. So hopefully we don't get any hurricanes anytime soon. And I am actually curious to see what would happen to this structure in a hurricane. Until next time, everybody, have a great day.